Hey, peace world. Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. I'm the host here, Wood. Definitely getting ready to get into some bite down boxing talk presented by Pay Me No Mind. Man, I'm just fresh off vacation, a week of vacation. I didn't know I needed it, but I damn sure did, and I enjoyed it to the fullest. I've been trying to get back in my groove and whatnot, and gotta work your way back in. I actually did a video this morning on the company man and the coon stuff and all of that about Timothy Bradley, tying it together with something I heard on the Ak and Barack boxing show on Sirius XM, Fight Nation, and I got off into it and just didn't have it. It wasn't my morning. I didn't have it. And because one of the things about a situation like that, it's a lot of serious stuff in boxing. It's a lot of serious aspects of boxing, and by and large, a lot of it is just turned to jokes, and clever tweets and clever posts on and memes, and people sway with whatever. Whatever. It doesn't matter if it's logical, if it's sound, if it's right. People just run with stuff and follow crowds and follow the herd. And I that's not me. I'm not saying I'm smarter or better than anybody, but I guess I just got my own code with this thing. But I saw something tonight that inspired me, that pulled me back in. And it's boxing for me, real boxing. A lot of this stuff in boxing is business. I majored in business and spent hours doing business and wrote papers and took tests and I work in business. When I get to this, I wanna F with boxing. I wanna rock with some boxing. And today, earlier, just a few minutes ago, I saw some real boxing. Jarrett Hurd, Swift Jarrett Hurd, I guess at the Barclays, with his press conference remarks, with his upcoming fight. What is that? January 25th with Francisco Santana, Chia Santana. You can unpack the obvious stuff here, but what I heard, like I said, was boxing, life, and manhood, and that's the ish that I like. All of the opinions and the accusations, the conspiracy theories, and the baseless fakery. That's my new stuff for my new joint for the F word. The fakery, throw that V in there instead of the U. Jarrett Hurd, I love this speech, man. Got up there and let everybody know, hey, I'm getting ready to unload some things. I'm getting ready to vent a little bit. I was in the door. I was in the doorway with like 20 other dudes, blue blood, barbershop, some other dudes, I don't know. Corey Lee, boxing. It was a bunch of us back there. AB boxing, I think, was back there. We were all back there at the exit to the parking lot for the athletes and their teams to leave. Eagle Pass Arena, I think, in Fairfax, Virginia, in his last fight against Julian Williams when he lost his homecoming fight badly, embarrassingly. But it happens. Anyway, neither here nor there. But we were all there waiting around, cameras running, cameras at the ready. And bro came around the corner, man, and you knew he wasn't speaking to anybody. And he was so miserable that he almost walked out the exit to leave. And I think the PR people went and grabbed him. Maybe his girl was with him, and one or two of his team, and then maybe somebody from Swanson Communications, and they went and grabbed him by the arm and was like, "Hey, you got your people in this other room. It's a room full of people back, family and friends. You got to go in there and spend some time with them." And he turned around like a little 10-year-old, that just got roughed up by the bully on the playground. I'm not trying to be funny. This real life stuff. He went in that room, but he turned around like he was being dragged against his wishes and everything. And I was like, damn, this is taking a lot out of this man. And it's what I like about the sport. Not that it had to happen to him, but this is reality. This is honest stuff. And they took him into, he made the U-turn from the door and went into the door, man. And them people, they clapped for that brother. They celebrated their champion and everything that he'd accomplished to that point, and blah, blah. And I'm sure some hugs happened. They embraced him like he was going into a surprise birthday party or something. I packed up my stuff and left, Others went on into J-Rock's room. Several guys I saw the next day, several of the guys got one-on-one time, or were welcomed into the new unified champions room. And Jarrett Hurd today got up there and addressed all of that and said, I know people had questions for me then, and this is the first appearance and this is the first interview or whatever. This is the first statement that I've made since that moment. And he went into hearing about what his coach said. He confronted his coach he heard about it while he was on vacation, came back. I did a video on this, talked through this when it all happened. I never did see the video on with Ernesto Rodriguez, I think is his coach's name. I still haven't seen it. But he said, the coach, he'd been with him for 12 years. And even though he said what he said about him, and I told you what the coach said, what his trainer said in front of me and barbershop and Blue Bloods. And that let me know right there, what kind of fakery is that? But anyway, it's good to see the brother back. It's been excellent seeing the dude in camp, out there with the amateurs. I said it, I think in one of the comments, I mentioned that he needed to go to Colorado. I mentioned going with Bomac and them, but he went out there to the what's that, USA Boxing. But he's been out there with K Karama. I think I've talked to that brother, but I didn't know that was him. And I don't think he shows his face on his Instagram page. But I think I talked to him a couple of times with regard to Michaela Mayer. I'm pretty sure that's who he came and told me to come talk to her. But I didn't get bruh's name, but I'm pretty sure that's him. You're like, who is him? But yeah, I wondered, and this is what kills me with boxing fans and with social media and boxing Twitter. My question before the fight was before the rematch, when it was still on the schedule, who is going to train this man? Who is he going to work with? Nobody gave a damn. It was two. You only talk about three people. But I'm like, and I want to know. And like I said, I got bruh's number if it's still the same number, which is probably not, but it's worthless. He ain't going to answer. He ain't going to respond to a text. Like I said, and the number might be changed. So, but that's what I want to know, that type of stuff. That's the boxing out. Who are you going to return with? Where are you going to train? He said he lost his titles that night. He lost his O. He lost his his belief in himself, his confidence. I don't know if he quite said that, but he said he lost his trainer and he lost his home gym. He lost all of that. And how do you pick up and resume? And almost like nobody gave a damn, pretty much. It moved on to Errol Spence and Deontay Wilder. The status quo. And so, but he came in, he got up on the podium. He said he's been working with a new with his new trainer. He said that he's staying at 154. Super welterweight. Said he was honored to be back. He said he credited Al Heyman for speaking with him and mentoring him and encouraging him through that situation and how to get back. And that skipping the rematch was a positive. I say that's good stuff to me, man. And I wish the brother well in his return. I'm not gonna lie, man. He's one of my favorite. He is one of my favorite fighters, and not one of my favorite people. I had the chance to interview him. That's why I have his. He's part of the intro that I do when I do the live stream. I approached him. He gave me some time, and just the family side of him, his spirit, the way he conducts himself and presents himself, the way he went. And I'm not saying he's the best boxer. I'm not saying that he can fully get back. Or that he comes back and defeats Julian Williams. I'm not gonna trounce him because he made some. He was a little careless and getting ready for this fight and walking it in his preparation towards. He paid for all of that. He paid for all of that. We don't have to throw the blood. I don't have to call him a bum and say, he's one dimensional and there's some things he has some deficiencies going into it, and that's why I was on the fence with my prediction in that fight. But that's neither here nor there. I was inspired, man. I was inspired by his speech. It's always good to hear authentic-ish. That's my word for the S word. Here on the Clean Boxing Talk. I'm VADA enrolled with Clean Boxing Talk. But yeah, and to see him in the gym working alongside teenagers, and amateurs and Olympic hopefuls, and doing the same drills as them. It's like Rocky walking into that gym with them brothers with Apollo Creed out in L.A. when he was going against Clubber Lang. Yeah, Clubber Lang. So I've been enjoying what I'm seeing from him on Instagram. He cut the hair. He made a comment about cutting the hair, getting back to himself, and starting from scratch and all of that stuff, man. And I just think that was that's good stuff to me, man. Good stuff to me. Now, on the other side of the table, the press conference, Francisco Chia Santana. I caught him a year and a half ago down in the grand closing of the welterweight international the Suleiman International Invitational down in Louisville at the KFC Center, whatever the hell it's called. 8 welterweights went into action. That Brad Solomon, the dude that just lost to Virgil Ortiz. Brad. I told you I'm just off vacation, man. I ain't got no notes or nothing, no teleprompter. He put it on Felix Diaz that night. I like his coach too, man. Janet. I like his trainer. I sat there and studied his trainer, guiding him through that victory and that upset. He's an emotional guy. His voice. He had the little thing in his throat today, the little frog in his throat when he was getting through his speech and talking about his, him. And this is what I say with boxing, man. He said when they make the call, when they give you the call, and they offer you an opportunity like this to fight the name that they gave me, even though he's a career, 47, welterweight, hasn't done. I don't think he's done much up at super welterweight, but he's done. Anyway, he took it. He accepted it. And that's what I'm saying. This is boxing to me, man. They give you a difficult ass assignment. It's not 50-50. It's not 70-30. It's not 65-35. He's got a hell of an assignment ahead of him. But he said, hey, man, I took it. I'm glad to be here. We're gonna make the most of this moment. We're gonna do what we need to do. We're gonna prepare right. And I know he said he reads the stuff on there. He's called giving zero chances. What he mentioned. He said he saw a massacre, on boxing scene and all of that stuff. And he said, he took the fight, and I respect that. I like that, but that's boxing to me. All of this, increasingly, man, all this stuff, the Power 5 conferences of boxing, or boxing's Power 5 conferences, the big boys, the stuff with the fakery, holding up fights being made, and we got to have Tim Bradley on the channel embarrassing himself and being called all of these names just because he wants to cut to the chase and demand and issue the challenges and get the fights that people want to see. The fights that we know will see. We sitting here now worrying about a peak average. Do you know what the peak would be if the right fights got made at the right time? Do you think we would give a damn about a concept or a phrase, a term like peak average, and what Coppinger said it is and what Espinosa said it? Do you think we would give a damn about that if we got the fights that we wanted to see when we wanted to see them? But some of us, like I told you, we got battered wife syndrome. We sit here and I'm sounding like Tony Harrison now. But yeah, we wouldn't be going through none of this, man, if. Now, I guess we could say, Bob make the offer, PBC somebody make an offer, blah blah blah. I guess it could be that way. I mean, that's a defense into what we against what we see. I guess so. But again, like I said, it's Kavaliauskas. It's a valid opponent for Bud. TV numbers, who watched what, who had the highest viewing of the night of the 3 fights, get rid of the first fight. Everybody has all of these solutions except for holding people's feet to the flames and being consistent about it and not being okay because you're with the fakery, because your organization that you like, the people that you like, because they're the ones doing it's them the one, they're the ones that's making the moves or not making the moves, but you're okay with it. I won't even go into my longer bid, but yeah, I wanted to talk for 5 minutes on this issue, and here we are, at 18. But like I said, man, I was inspired by that exchange. I don't know if it's going to be a good fight. Obviously, Jarrett Hurd is going to be working on a lot of fundamentals. He said, in going to this coach, I learned a lot of stuff. And he didn't even really he didn't trash Ness, though. But he just said, I realized there were more things I could learn and add to my game to be an even better fighter. And, probably things he had disregarded, overlooked, or, undervalued, underappreciated and whatnot. And the time with K and seeing these youngsters and all of that and being humble, and being away from home too. And that was one of the things that Nesto said. What was that at? He complained about who was hanging around, his other people in his team. If you go back to the video that I actually talk about what Nesto said in front of me, Barbershop and Blue Bloods, that just, I'm like, damn, bro, you throwing the whole, you should be in the locker room having this conversation. Okay. But he addressed all that, man. So like I said, Santana is probably not the opponent who can quickly exploit, because he's not going to be acting off of muscle memory and training. I mean, he's going to be thinking through some things and processing some things. There's a learning curve to applying all of this stuff. So, and does he revert back to who he and what he is? Or does he win the fight applying all the things that he's learned until, if it ends inside the distance or get to a decision, and he's learning some basics. Cones on the ground, tape, ropes, the ropes and all. He's doing the basics. So it'll be interesting to see how he can perform and what he looks like. Like I said, I think that's January 25th. I bumped my gums enough. People probably, were on here like 30 seconds anyway. Like I said, people only want to click on like 3 names and on, the hot topic of the day, peak, I don't know, whatever, stuff that they didn't even know about last week. So again, like I said, man, one thing about social media is a lot of the measurables, the easy feedback, it lets you know what's popping, and you can make a decision to give people more of what they want, or you can branch out and talk about, have some breadth to the stuff that you address. And like I said, you can get on here. I can get on here and talk to myself for 18 minutes because people left, at the 3-minute mark. But it is what it is. It's Bite Down Boxing. Don't let them count you out. Jarrett Hurd, perfect example of don't let them count you out. Chia Santana, perfect example of don't let them count you out and what Bite Down Boxing is really all about. Let me get on off of here, man. Finish this salad before my wife get home. Peace.